Welcome, everyone. I'm Damon Bruce, and this is the NBA on 2K Sports. A Sunday broadcast of the NBA. It's going to be Grant Hill and the Phoenix Suns up against Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. And now we send you out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew. I'll see you at the half.
Here we go. It's the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat. 2K Sports brings you this broadcast of the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan, and with me, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. So the opening lineup for the Suns. Hill at the 3 with Stoudemire at the 4. Nash runs the point with Dudley at the 2. And it's Gortat in at the center. And for Miami, LeBron and Bosh are the 3 and the 4. Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. And it's Anthony in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
You know, guys, despite the fact that the Suns fell off a little bit at home last season, they hung pretty tough against the East, going 17 and 13 in matchups against the other conference.
And it's the Suns to start out. Nash outside. The feed to Gortat. Covered by Anthony. And stormed by Chalmers.
Well, credit the defense, but you've got to be more careful with the ball. They really look to run immediately after that turnover.
Well, that's how you cash in. You don't want to waste any time after the turnover. Go at it right away.
Well, going back to the record, Clark, of last year, they struggled against the West, but you're right, they still had a winning record against the East.
Well, that's to be expected, Kevin. The East was the weaker conference, top to bottom. And, of course, the Suns, their style was maybe a little different for those Eastern Conference teams to adapt to. And maybe Phoenix caught them off guard a little bit.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hi, guys. I caught up with Coach Alvin Gentry. He knows they're up against a team that plays best when they're getting to the rim. He told me that their number one concern is going to be sliding over to help on any drives and closing up any lanes to the hoop as quickly as possible. Good rotation is key, guys.
And thank you, Doris.
Now, there were questions about how LeBron would play in a New Jersey. Statistically, he was about the same with the drop in points and a higher field goal percentage. He's a brilliant player no matter what uniform he's got on.
Oh, and a nice defensive play to interrupt the alley-oop. And Dudley kicks it over to Nash. Wade is covering. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. We'll talk more about LeBron's stats. You're all over it, Clark. Steals, assists, blocks, rebounds. All look the same way they did in his last year with Cleveland. I guess, Steve, the difference is he played with another superstar. In fact, too, if you put Bosh in there, and it was something that he was really aiming for, and it paid off.
Yeah, LeBron was never concerned about numbers. It's always been about winning. I think he wanted to find some teammates that he could pair up with, and give him credit. I mean, he found a great spot in Miami. He's got a lot of talent around him. The numbers will always be there, but the big thing is winning, and he just wants to win rings, and that's why he made his choice.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Joel Anthony. He doesn't get the second one.
Well, you could see last season with the big three that early on offensively they couldn't quite figure it out. But as the season went on, they got more and more comfortable with each other. And I thought by the end of the year that they played pretty well together.
Nash drawing the double team, and Fry backs in. Kicks it to Gortat. Up top, Fry, moving it around. 6 on the shot clock. The 10-footer. Hill tries again, and that one's good by Gortat.
How about the energy he puts into crashing the boards, guys?
On defense, the Suns trailing by 4. And you're right, Steve, about what you said in regard to the Heat. You know, anytime you bring new guys together, there is a feeling out period. But Clark, obviously, this was an extreme case.
Yeah, I agree with both of you there. I mean, it just takes a lot of time and massaging when you have that much star power coming together for guys to figure out their roles and then accept their roles and excel in them. That's a three-pronged process.
A lot.
Yep.
A lot to deal with. Here's LeBron. Steve Nash making his last shot. Feeds to Chalmers. Fires the three. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. Chalmers has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Nash outside. Pass to Hill. Beyond the arc. Offensive rebound. A second chance effort. Puts up the baby hook. Again, Phoenix.
Boy, I like the rugged work on the inside that led to that very easy putback. That's going after it there, guys.
LeBron outside. Haslem a screen on Gortat. Wade gets to Chalmers. Now the pass to LeBron. Puts it up. And he converts the layup.
Well done finishing that one off.
Here is Nash. 1:05 left in the first quarter.
Well, here's a little factoid for you. With LeBron switched to Miami, guys, he was the first reigning MVP to change teams since Moses Malone back in 1982. Crazy stuff. And remember what happened when Moses Malone changed teams. That team, Philadelphia, went on to win the NBA title in '83.
With Dr. J.
Dr. J and
Yes.
those Cheeks. That was my rookie year. So I
you
remember
saw it
banging
firsthand,
heads
didn't you?
against those guys. Yeah.
What a time.
Yeah.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix. Going back to what you said about LeBron, like you said, you just don't see MVPs want to change teams. They're happy where they are. Steve, you can probably talk about that too. It's rare.
It is rare. Shaquille O'Neal left Orlando for L.A. Steve Nash left Dallas for Phoenix. Now, granted, those guys weren't on the same level as LeBron at the time, but it does happen occasionally. But hey, look, LeBron, probably the biggest athlete, biggest star in the NBA, so it made big news.
And the Heat with some changes. Joel Anthony comes in for LeBron. And Mike Miller subbed in for Dwayne Wade. And then for Phoenix, Robin Lopez is checked in for Gortat. And it's Childress in for Grant Hill. Here's Nash. Crafty move. And he finishes on the layup.
I tell you what, you watch this guy put it in the basket, and his scoring ability can just astound you at times.
Here's Chalmers. 59 seconds left to play here in the first. The dish now to Haslem. He dishes it to Bosh. And stolen by Nash.
For the most part, they're doing a nice job of taking care of the ball there.
And good on the basket. Hook it. Nash has got 6 points. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, they need to play it smart. Make sure you get a good shot first, and then maybe a second possession.
Anthony with the screen on Nash. There's Miller with the 3. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist.
Great awareness by Mario Chalmers on that feed.
Dishes to Dudley. He feeds it to Fly. There's the 3. Rebound by the Heat. Even numbers. Lets it go with the 3. The shot is off. The basket's coming early and off in the first quarter. Heat lead by 4.
Yeah, this team is on the same page, no question. They're right where they need to be offensively.
And they're hitting their scores with on-time and on-target passes, too. That's fun to watch.
And we'll return momentarily. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Here is House. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. And Phoenix looking who they've got on the floor. We've got Brooks. Josh Childress out there trying to fly. Then it's Gortat, and it's Carter in at the 2 spot.
Well, Miami last season, despite their struggles as they tried to find that rhythm with their new big three, they ended up finishing second in the NBA in team field goal percentage.
Now, here's Childress. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. A fader. And Carter with the basket on the assist by Brooks. Steve, getting back to the Heat, you look at who is taking their shots, and it isn't surprising to see the shooting percentage, I'm sure for you too, so high.
Well, I mean, look at LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. All were right around 50% from the floor and accounted for 67% of the team field goal tries. So, it's hard to blame them for taking that higher percentage of the shots when they were making so many of them.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Guys, Chris Bosh has always been on the slender side for an NBA big man. He said, quote, I guard guys every day feeling like I wish I was that big, but I'm not going to try to be something I'm not. One thing I've learned, just be who you are. I can help this team more by just playing my game. I can shoot the basketball. I work off mismatches. That's what I've always done. And guys with great dribble penetrators like LeBron and D-Wade, a face-up four-man like Bosh, probably a better fit than the type that's going to clog up the paint.
Yeah, his great skill level has always been his own. Thanks, Doris. And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
Guys, you think back to a team like the Suns. They had a terrific shot at winning the championship just a few short seasons ago, and it doesn't seem like they're in real contention right now going forward.
And the Heat with some changes. Chris Bosh is checked in for Hazard. Wade comes in for LeBron. And it's Chalmers in for Mike Miller. Then for the Suns, Robin Lopez is checked in for Gortat. Warwick comes in for Channing Frye. And it's Hill in for Childress. Here's Chalmers. They set the screen. Great ball movement from deep. Miami no good on that time either. We're talking about the Suns' fall from contention, some of it age, but Steve, a number of tough breaks and maybe a few self-inflicted wounds along the way.
Well, Steve Nash is getting older, still was a very productive player a season ago. I think the biggest difference, though, for Phoenix was not having Amari Stoudemire, who left as a free agent for New York. So the talent base went down, and now Phoenix is faced with some question marks as they look to the future. They're going to have to make some changes eventually and kind of reload to get back to that championship-style level.
And here's Wade, and Bosh backs down. He kicks it to Chalmers. Wade kicks to House. Looking to end the run. No luck, and Phoenix will take it the other way.
As a player, you always want to be able to answer back, but he just didn't have it in him that time. Spoelstra was in a really odd and tough position last season. Never before had there been a bigger free agent talent swing, and he was tasked with getting three huge superstars to mesh as a unit. He's done a nice job.
3 on the clock. Here's Brooks. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. And here are the Heat now. Chalmers with it. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. And Chalmers kicks to Wade. Stolen by Carter.
Oops. You got to watch it if you bring the ball down when you're on the low block.
And it's Brooks that time on the assist by Carter. Brooks has got 7 now in this quarter. Miami trailing. Back to Spoelstra because he was the first coach, Steve, to deal with that much talent. He had some very unique situations pop up along that road.
Well, he sure did, Kevin, and he had to coach that team under a microscope all season long. The basketball world was watching, and that Miami team went through some ups and downs, but in the end, I think Eric Spoelstra did a fantastic job, and he looks to be one of the bright young coaches in this league.
And the Heat call time here.
Well, last season, the Suns' road record dipped well below 500, 17-24. And that's one of the reasons they were on the outside looking in when it came to playoff time.
Finally on the side today, where I've all these days astray. Countdown.
Some changes here for the Heat. Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Joel Anthony. LeBron comes in for Mario Chalmers. And Mike Miller subbed in for Eddie House. Then for the Suns, Gortat's checked in for Lopez. Dudley comes in for Vince Carter. And it's Nash in for Aaron Brooks. Here's Miller. Wade dishes to Miller. Wade working against Nash. Miller outside. Steve Nash with the rebound. Steve, that's your old team, the Suns. They could put on a show, certainly. They always have with Nash. But Clark, they couldn't get enough wins on the road, 17 and 24, as Steve just said.
Yeah, well, that may have been part of it, too. I mean, those high-scoring games tend to get the crowd engaged, and that gives the home team life. I mean, when you're an up-and-down team, you're giving the other team possessions as well. And when you're not really strong defensively, then that creates opportunities to not be able to finish games or close out opponents. And I think the Suns struggled at the defensive end of the floor at times.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, Kevin, one of the staples of the Heat's success last season was their defense. LeBron said, we start with defense, and if we get stops, then it's open court for us. Perhaps the biggest part of their success was their intensity and athleticism on the defensive end, turning into transition points on the offensive end. They are fearsome on the break, guys. Back to you.
All right, Doris.
Make no mistake about it. They were an incredible team on defense last season.
Yeah, no question about that. They finally were broken in that final series against Dallas, but throughout the playoffs until the finals, Miami's defense was spectacular.
Now here's Wade. And here's LeBron outside. And a great assist by Miller as that one goes in.
Good things happen when he's working like that, fellas.
Now here's Nash. With one on the clock, no good trying to beat the buzzer. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena.
Thank you so much for spending Sunday night right here. It's time for the HB Halftime Report. The Heat in a tight one against the Phoenix Suns. Great unselfish play. They're making the extra pass. LeBron's been going at it effortlessly against Phoenix. He's got 12 points and has been efficient in getting those points. Look at the shooting percentage. For the Suns, also a strong start. It's been a scintillating open court attack. They hold a major advantage in fast break points. Some nice play so far from Steve Nash. After two, he's got 6 points and a great field goal percentage too, making his shots count. Some great play out of these two in today's action so far. They'll look to carry on that play into the second half. Thanks so much for joining me at halftime. I'll send you back out to Kevin and the gang.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. Here's LeBron.
I think anything less than a title would have to be viewed as a bit of a letdown for the Heat in last year's playoffs. Even when they entered the postseason as the number 2 seed in the East, their eyes were always set on winning it all.
Wade and LeBron fill out the wings. Chris Bosh is out there with Joel Anthony. And it's Chalmers in at the point guard position. So that's who Exposito starts the second half with.
You know, if he's got the ball in his hands and the basket in his sight, he's going straight to the rack.
Clark touching back on the Heat. Looking at the opponents they had to face, no easy matchups for them.
And Boston, Chicago, then Dallas, they saw a lot of tough matchups in their road to the finals. And that ultimately might have taken its toll on them because Dallas kind of wore them out in that final series.
Here's Wade. Phoenix able to drain the three. Shot clock at 6. Leads him in there. And stolen by Fry.
Well, he saw that kick out coming and really anticipated the play before it happened.
Nash against Chalmers. Bosh against Hill. He's picked up by LeBron. Hill, no good.
Quite the interesting season for Chris Bosh last year. I mean, obviously more team success than he really enjoyed in Toronto, but individually, his numbers dropped a bit. I don't think it bothered him, though. He wanted to win.
Now here's Bosh, and it's Miami with another.
The defense that time didn't do quite enough. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to stop him when he gets in tight.
Nash outside. Defended by Chalmers, and the ball travels out of bounds. Turnover. Well, talked about Bosh's numbers from last season, Steve. His rebounding and his field goal percentage did drop off from the year before.
Well, and his shooting percentages last year were really in line or even above his career numbers. So I thought Bosh had a good season. It just took him some time to kind of adjust to playing with his new team and a new style. But ultimately, Bosh made a big impact down there.
Timeout called the Heat.
He knew the big three when they came together, guys, that they would be good. But they did a pretty decent job, I thought, of finding complementary players to fill out the roster after a big chunk of the salaries went to the big three.
Here's Bosh. He's against Fry. Pushes up, and it's Bosh. That time in the assist by Chalmers. Now it's a 4-point Heat lead. So it's Phoenix now. 4-point game. Passes it to Nash. And they call goaltending. They'll give him the bucket.
Yeah, not just an everyday finish. He put a little pizzazz on that one, guys.
Here's Wade. It's stolen by Childress.
And, you know, despite the number of turnovers, Kevin, they've still got the lead here.
Well, eventually, guys, you know those mistakes will come back and haunt you, so they've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
Here's Chalmers. LeBron is screen on Nash. And Chalmers kicks to LeBron.
That should be absolutely illegal.
Phenomenal play. And a replay from the Sparks Slam King.
That is hang time, ladies and gentlemen. We call that Yeelium. Yeast rises and helium floats.
Style and grace and cooking from Special K.
A little bit of strength thrown in there, too, Clark.
Goes up. And Chris Bosh with the slam.
As soon as they force that turnover, they really attack the rim. I like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was the highlight of the sequence. You know, you go back to the finals, and I think Bosh certainly was a factor on the floor. He didn't have the best shooting percentage, but he got better as that series wore on.
A little slow on the defensive rotation there.
LeBron outside. The feed now to Chalmers. Guarded now by Nash. Wade against Dudley. The kick out to LeBron. Just 3 to shoot. No good from the wing.
Well, going back to Bosh, guys, in the finals, he was inconsistent with his shooting percentage, but he had stretches where he was really good. And he hit that game-winning shot in Game 3. I thought he was overall pretty solid for the Heat last season and in the playoffs.
Nash kicks it to Gorton. Anthony with the block. The Heat with the lead. And here we go. Here's Chalmers. That's good. Chalmers has got 5 points so far. Now Dudley. Wade is covering. Anthony against Gortat. For 3, Fry. That is good. 6 points for him.
That's now 6 straight points off open threes. Get a hand up, fellas. Pay attention to the scouting report.
Well, you know how quickly things can go south when you start giving up wide open looks to this team.
Now, here's Chalmers. He's got 5. Bosch is called for the chalk. That's his first foul.
Nice job there, sliding over and taking the contact.
You know, a lot of times those kinds of plays change the momentum of the game, and even though they don't show up in the box score, they're significant plays.
"12 seconds left in the third quarter. Outside Carter. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Carter's got 5 points so far. Puts up a prayer. And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. A fantastic game from Steve Nash in this one.
Yeah, give him credit. He's been very selective with his shots, and it's paying off for him and his team.
You know, through the first 3 quarters, Steve, he's taken exactly what the defense has given him, and he's not forced anything. I mean, that's poise that is very impressive. And that's exactly how you should play the game, in my opinion.
The Suns on top, up by 3. We're still getting underway here in the fourth. Let's go down to Doris Burke, who has our Sprite Spark of the game report. Doris?
Hi, guys. Well, it was the stretch by the Suns that garners the Sprite Spark today. That offensive boom they had to start things off has carried them, and they haven't looked back since as they have made the most of their early scoring bursts.
Doris, thanks. That run, Clark, really propelled them.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, it got their confidence up and gave them the kind of swagger you like to see in a team.
Yeah, gave them the edge for sure, because look at the opponent. I mean, they are kind of down on themselves right now. The body language, not where it needs to be.
So with Nash sitting on the bench, here's your Alvin Gentry storm. Hakeem Warwick and Robin Lopez in the middle. VC and Hill are the wings, and it's Brooks in at the point.
He's a bit short for the power forward spot, but his great leaping ability more than makes up for it.
LeBron outside. Grant Hill covering. Off the pick. Here is House. Miller outside. With the fadeaway. And Vince Carter pulls it down.
This guy's a good three-point shooter, but that was probably from a little bit too far.
Yeah, not what I would call working to get the best shot either.
And here is Brooks. He passes to Warwick. That drops and it comes off an assist from Brooks. Now it's a 7-point Suns lead. And here comes LeBron. And the Heat call time here.
You got to keep everybody on the same page. They need to get their heads together. That's the goal.
Doris Burke has some information for us, Doris.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He told his squad, this is our time. We've got some work cut out for us, but this is the time of the game when I expect you guys to know exactly what needs to be done to win. Let's go out and execute.
All right, Doris, thanks. Now here is Haslam. It's House outside. Anthony is tagged with the loose ball foul. That's foul number 2 for him. Here is Brooks. Feeds it to Ward. Clock at 6. Shoots the 3. And it's Haslam with the rebound. Haslam's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Well, they are getting out rebounded here, and it's showing up on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, it's something they're going to have to improve upon if they're going to win this game.
Now here's Wade. He had a nice open look right there.
And the shootout continues.
Trading buckets both ways. I mean, offense definitely the focal point for these teams.
Carter outside. Anthony on the double team. Here's Ward. Rises up and throws it down.
Well, not much of a job there protecting the rim. I mean, poor.
Well, they just pretty much opened the door for him.
Yeah, he didn't waste the opportunity, did he?
House kicks to Wade. There's the pass to House. Launches it.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
Yeah, not enough defensive coverage there to prevent him from firing that time. But I think if he's open, he's got to let that thing fly.
So it's Miami now. Vince Carter getting it to go from deep. Timeout call, the Heat. They're losing by 10. 1:57 left in the game. A different look for Miami. Chris Bosh is checked in for Joel Anthony. LeBron comes in for Mike Miller. And it's Chalmers in for Eddie House. Then for the Suns, Channing Frye's checked in for Ward. Dudley comes in for Vince Carter. And it's Nash in for Aaron Brooks. Here's Chalmers. Inside to Bosh. Takes it right up. One-hand jam.
Old school, old-fashioned one-hand foul jam.
Just like you, Clark. Tried and true.
That's all he needed to do. Just taking care of business out there.
Nash the pass to Frye. Backing down his board top. That's tipped. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. Here is Dudley. 6 to shoot. And James pulls it down. Chalmers with it. LeBron outside. Lays it up and bunks it in.
Well, I love the way they've been attacking inside, Kevin.
Well, guys, they're getting a lot of points in the painted area, not settling for outside shots, and I don't see any reason to change strategy here.
Now, here's Nash. Now the dish to Dudley. It's up a 3. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. And the Suns lead by 9.
This is a very steady performance offensively for him.
Now Chalmers. LeBron outside. Wade. He's guarded by Dudley. Wade kicks to Bosh. From 17 feet out. No good. And it's the Suns taking it the other way. Nash dishes to Hill. And Bosh picks him up defensively. And here's Dudley for three. And it's Miami with the rebound. And it would take divine intervention for them now to get back in it.
And even that might not be enough.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you think?
I don't see it. Very little chance of a comeback. I think this is over.
His eyes were wide open there, guys. Excellent vision to see they had an open shot outside and get it there.
So the Suns win it. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Steve Nash.